I'm back. And look. Oh, I'm so sorry, buddy. Oh. Look, Gandalf's here. Even though I bopped him on the nose. I'm so sorry, buddy. He does not look amused, does he? So, hi. I'm back. I'm John Hartness. I'm the founder and publisher of Falstaff Books, and this is another one of my videos about how to make more money at conventions selling books. And one of the things we're going to talk about today about something that is inevitable. You're going to go through it. I've gone through it. I went through it literally today. I got up today at 6:30 in the morning. That made me sad. It hurts me. It hurts my heart to say it to you now, because I did not become a writer to get up early in the morning. I didn't become anything to get up early in the morning. Nowhere in my career studying theater or producing theater or being an actor or being a writer, none of this was geared towards getting up at 6:30 in the morning. I don't like it, Sam I am. Do we, Gandalf? Yes, my baby boy. Okay, you can go over there. I got up at 6:30 in the morning, drove through Bohangles, and headed off to a local high school that was having a holiday market. Sounds great, right? Holiday market. Tons of people there, ready to buy. These are people with money in hand. Except there were no people. Womp, womp, womp. Attendance wasn't good. This was, I believe, a first year event. The folks who were putting it on were well-intentioned, I'm sure. The table prices were ridiculously cheap, like $35. Otherwise, I would not have set up 2 tables in a high school lunchroom, common area. Wouldn't have done it if it hadn't been $35 for a 10 by 10 space. To compare, my booth for GalaxyCon 2023 was, I want to say it was $2,500 for a 10 by 20. So this 10 by 10 was, I don't know, barely over 1% of what I spent at GalaxyCon. Unfortunately, my gross revenue for the day was less than 1% of my 2023 GalaxyCon gross revenue. I made $60 all day. 4 books. I didn't even get it. I wasn't even the one who managed to sell them. This is another thing that's important that we'll talk about in later videos, I'm sure. Gandalf, please do not knock over my tripod. Please do not eat my tripod. Kids, man, what are you gonna do? So, I was not the right person to be at this event. I'm a big guy. I'm a big guy with a bunch of tattoos, great big, not that anybody at a show gets to see this, but big old colorful tattoos. I'm a big guy, 6'1", I'm over 300 pounds, and I look, I can be intimidating to a lot of people. I'm loud, I got a deep voice, got this big beard, and I'm no longer really fat enough to be a good Santa Claus, so even at a holiday event, I just look like a biker, basically. And I'm okay with that. I know my look. But that does mean that Katie, who's our marketing director and frequently at events with me, she was the one who had to go do all of the selling to most of the people at this event, because a lot of them looked terrified of me. They were either very, very shy and introverted, or Maybe they just had some kind of past trauma with big, loud, scary men, whatever. 3 of the 4 books that we sold at our booth today, Kate did the sale on. I could not close most of the people here. And that's a kick in the teeth, man. It's rough. And you're gonna have these events. You're gonna have shows that don't make you any money. You're gonna have shows that put you deep in a financial hole sometimes. It's really important for you to remember that it's a long game. Do I think that the 4 people we sold books to, actually 3, one nice lady bought 2 books. Do I think that the 3 people who we sold books to are going to become lifelong fans and buy everything we create? Probably not. It's not unlikely that they will buy other books in the future, but they didn't come off as big readers. They didn't talk about being big readers. They were just like, oh, these are neat. And one of our customers was the theater teacher for this school, and we had specifically laid out the table so that Burning Shakespeare, which has a bust of William Shakespeare on the cover, was cover facing out, directly pointed at the doors of the auditorium, because part of the event was a school play. So I wanted to put our most theatrical books, Burning Shakespeare and the novelization of Hamlet by A.J. Hartley and David Hewson, I wanted those to be front and center, where people going into or out of the auditorium were more likely to see them. 3 of the 4 books we sold today were either Burning Shakespeare or Hamlet. So that part worked. That we did well. Identifying the market, not a hit. I've done events in this town before. I will do events in this town again. I won't do events at this school again. Not that actually cost me money. Because, okay, I spent $35 on the table and I've made $60. That's profit, right? No. That is not profit. That is not how math works. You also have to consider cost of goods sold. I sold 4 books for $15 a piece. 10% of the cover price goes to the authors, so that's $6 right off the top. Now we're at $54. Those books probably cost me a landed cost of about $7.50. Markup on a print book from the publisher or the author is usually around 100%. We're usually looking to double our cost because we know stuff's going to sit on the shelf for a while before it sells. So let's say, so there's $30 right out the window. Now we're down to, what was that? Oh, $24. And now we're in the whole $9 plus gas. It was probably 2 gallons each way, $5, $5 or $6 each way. We're gonna say it's $10 because the math's easier. Now we're in the whole $19. I stopped for Bojangles on the way. That was, I think, $7. Now I'm in the whole $26. I had to get lunch. I did not, for the record, have to go to Longhorn, but I did. But let's say I was gonna get Taco Bell. It's about $10 minimum to eat at Taco Bell nowadays. So then I'd be in the hole for $35 or $40 by the time it was all said and done. Is it worth it? Yes, it is still worth it. Because I didn't have anything else going on today, I didn't cancel another event to be there. And there were a couple of folks who I think may look us up. Several people clicked on the QR code for our social to follow us on our socials. Several people asked for cards. So there is future potential for sales. I don't think it's a complete loss. That's the challenge when you're looking at something that is marketing. as opposed to a sale, because you don't know necessarily what marketing works and what specific marketing brings people in. But there's still a hit. It's still a kick right in the teeth to spend all day. I mean, I got up at 6:30 in the morning. I got home about 4 o'clock. And then I spent a couple of hours yesterday packing boxes and loading the car. I'll spend a few minutes tomorrow unloading the car. I won't have to spend much time unpacking boxes because I have another event in a few weeks. And as I was striking, I arranged the boxes the way I want them for that event. I just have to replenish the few things that we sold at this event for that show, and I'm good to go. But still, we're talking a solid day and a half of time that I've lost. How do I get past that? Especially in a year like 2024, where the last half of this year, everything has been soft. Everything we've done since the middle of July. We produced our genre fiction writing conference in July, and sales at that were pretty good. Everything after that, other than Dragon Con, has been disappointing sales-wise. There has not been a single event other than Dragon where I came home and I was like, huzzah! And honestly, even Dragon was down a little off last year. Not much, but a tiny bit. So how do I get past this? Drugs. No, not drugs. Alcohol. No, not alcohol. I try and recenter. I came home, I sat in my recliner for a little bit, I watched some YouTube about nothing having to do with the publishing industry. I watched some poker videos. I've been getting back into playing live poker again. I'm going up to Cherokee next month to play in the World Series of Poker circuit event, the seniors tournament, because I have the old. Actually, because the World Series of Poker sets the seniors event to start at age 50. And now that Daniel Negreanu is 50, they should really raise the age for the seniors event. 50 isn't a senior anymore. It was different when the World Series of Poker started. This helps. This helps me recenter quite a bit. I come home to the people that love me, my wife, my 2 cats, even Biscuit, the neighborhood cat that I've made friends with lately. He likes me. I know, you're grumpy because I'm holding you. Oh well, I'm grumpy because I didn't sell any books. These are things we can't do anything about, Gandalf. Gandalf's like, bitch, I'll show you. Find what allows you to recenter. Maybe you come home and you write something. Maybe you work on your new project. That's something that is completely unrelated to what you did today. Maybe you talk to the event organizers and you help them with suggestions for how they can make it a better vendor event. That's something I've done with several event planners. I've gone back to them during or immediately following the event and said, hey, this didn't work out so great for me this year. Here are some suggestions. You never want to do it in an accusing fashion. You never want to do it finger wagging like you didn't do your job, because event planners have a lot going on. You don't ever want to go up and talk to a con runner and compare their event to this other event that you did in another town or even in the same town. I would not in a million years go up to the nice person who set up this event today and say, you know, we sell a pile of books at Con Carolinas every year and a ton of stuff at Heroes Con. I don't know what in the world you were doing. Well, Heroes Con has something like 35,000 people through the door. Con Carolinas is a lot smaller than that, but it's still 12 or 1,500 people by the time you factor in staff and guests and all the volunteers and all of the attendees. So it's apples and oranges. And Con Carolinas and Heroes Con are in June. This was in November. Very different world. And we just had a big election. People are trying to figure out what this new presidency is going to mean for their finances. Some people are celebrating, some people are terrified. I'm not here to talk about politics. If you want my opinion on politics, well, poke around on the internet. It's out there. It's pretty easy to find. Or read my books. My politics are very apparent there, but this is an instructional video, and me talking about the screwed up politics of the United States is not going to help you sell any more books. Obviously, I don't ascribe to the don't get political in your work or in your socials, because I'm political as hell. Just not here. This isn't the forum for it. So when I have a bad show, I try to shake it off by doing other things. I try to distract myself. I read. I just started a new serial killer thriller that I'm enjoying so far. If I decide I like it by the time I'm done, I'll tell you all about it. I just finished an Alex Delaware novel by Jonathan Kellerman. I like those books. They're comfort food, kind of, to me, if horrific murder mysteries are comforting. Well, I mean, they are, because I'm not the one who got horrifically murdered, and I'm not the one who has to clean up after the horrific murder, so it's comfortable to me. But you have to figure out how to center yourself, because you're going to have shows that suck. You're going to have shows that lose you money. And you're going to have sometimes 3 or 4 or 10 of them in a row. And you have to figure out how to shake it off, just like Taylor told us. You have to figure out how to get back on the horse and go back out there in a couple of weeks and do it all over again to a whole new set of people who might not care anything about what you're doing until you find the one that does. When you have a bad show, you don't focus on that. You take a second. Yeah, sure. If you want to go curl up with a pint of Haagen-Dazs and a bottle of whiskey, you do you, boo-boo. Maybe don't do those two things together. Whatever. I don't eat that much ice cream and I don't drink whiskey, so you live your best life. But the things that help me get through this are when I think back to the people who have been genuinely excited about the books that we're selling. Sometimes it's someone who's genuinely excited to meet me. I can't imagine why, but sometimes there are people who come up and they're like, I read this book and it was really awesome and it helped me through a really bad time in my life. One message like that, one person coming up to your table telling you that is worth 10 shows that don't make you any money. I had a show in West Virginia one time where I didn't know anybody there. I mean, I had my friends that were sharing the booth with me, Gail and Darren, and I think Jim Nettles was with us then. Scalzi was at that show. So I got to see John a little while later, but I didn't know any of the audience. But as we're sitting, working the booth, talking to people, I see somebody walking by, and then I see her stop, back up, staring right at my side of the booth, and then just fast walk over to me with this big grin and tell me how much she loved the Quincy Harker series. Man, that made the whole trip to West Virginia worth it. The fact that I did not get food poisoning off of the convention center barbecue certainly helped. If I was Darren and Gail, who got horrifically sick on that trip, I would have felt very differently. It would have taken a lot more to make me feel good about the trip. But I had the pizza, and the pizza was tasted like cardboard, but it didn't make me sick. So we'll call that a win. But you think back, you store those moments up for when you have a crappy day. You think back to the teenager or the young college student who came up and saw the pride flag on our booth and said, wait, you have LGBTQ plus books? Yeah, we have the gays. We have L books, G books, B books, T books. We have a whole alphabet of LGBTQ plus titles. And then these children feel seen. These kids, some of whom may have had horrible home lives, some of them may still not be out to their families, but they can feel welcome at our space. And watching this kid's face light up when they realize that we publish books about them, then that's worth everything. So when you have a bad show, and you will, you find those moments of joy. Find those moments of happiness. Find those moments when you are as absolutely happy in your life as my insane cat is while he's cleaning himself on a box of magic cards right off screen. So there you go. There's a little chat about how to deal with it when you have a gig that doesn't go well. It's going to happen. Hope it doesn't happen often. But you don't give up. Remember that 50% of all marketing works. Unfortunately, nobody knows which 50%. If this was helpful to you, please remember to click the like button, click that subscribe button, and ring the bell to get notified. And if you would like all of this scintillating wisdom a little early, you can subscribe to our Patreon, and you'll get them a day or two ahead of the rest of the world. So if you're looking for that, go to the show notes. There'll be a link in the description. Till then, y'all, have a great rest of your weekend. I'm gonna go watch some more comfort food television and cuddle up with my cats, commiserate for a little bit, and then I'll get back at it tomorrow. Peace.